Today we will be giving an instructional video on how to operate the metal casting system designed by Moldman Sachs. To begin, we will prepare the mold by separating the cope and drag. First we will add the sand to the cope, pack it using the mortar, and even off the top. Next, the blank being used will be inserted into the sand that has been packed into the cope. After it is secured in the sand, the drag is placed on top. More sand is then packed into the drag with the mortar. This is one of the trickier parts of the process. You have to pack it tight enough so it will stay in the drag, but not so much that it dislodges the blank. Once the sand is packed in, a sprue must be made to allow the molten metal to enter the mold. Next, the cope and drag need to be separated in order to remove the blank used to make the mold. Once the blank is taken out, the cope and drag are put back together and placed in the specified space in the base. Now it is time to prepare the furnace. To start, the metal is placed in the crucible and moved in the furnace using the tongs. Once the crucible is in the furnace, we will plug the potentiometer in and turn it on to output the maximum voltage. After a few minutes, you will want to check on the metal to see if it is molten. To do so, you will need to put on the safety gloves and use the tongs. If it is not yet molten, place it back into the furnace. If the metal is molten, it is time to pour it into the mold. This will be done using the same gloves and tongs from before. After all of the molten metal has been poured out, the crucible is put back into the furnace, which is then turned off. Finally, we will get the metal casting. After allowing the appropriate amount of time to cool, the cope and drag is then transported back to the packing station. We will remove the cope and drag, take out the mold, and recycle the sand back into the bag. Sometimes the sand is not reusable though. Make sure the sand has not been corrupted before recycling. This metal casting process is now complete and you have your mold.